Hello and welcome along to episode 3 of this brand new FM19 short-term challenge with me, Daniel. We're trying to save a giant in Liverpool and things are going pretty well so far. If you have missed either of the first 2 episodes, we've met the squad, we've played a Merseyside derby on camera already, plenty of drama in our first 2 episodes, so do click on the eye above to go back and check them out. But a massive thank you to everyone that's already followed along. I really have appreciated the support with the new series and I can't thank you enough for giving it a try, and if you continue to enjoy it then please put a thumbs up on the video. But as you can see from the league table today, we are starting to edge away from that relegation pack and there are some things that have become very clear for us already. Firstly, going forward, we are absolutely sensational. We've been scoring more than a goal in every game, and not many teams have been able to stop us or even try to handle us at the back. But at the other end, we are absolutely disastrous. Again, haven't had a game where we haven't conceded lots of goals, and that's a bit of a worry moving forward into January. So it has made it easier in terms of where we want to strengthen in the window, but as per the request of most of you so far, we are going to let our director of football make the bids and agree the contracts. We're only going to have one slight caveat in this one, a little bit of a compromise compared to the head coach, as a few of you had said you'd wanted to see us involved in transfers, so we're going to have the final say in this one, a bit more like what happens at most clubs with a good transfer system. The scouts and the director of football will go and find transfer targets in the position and pick the most attainable one out of 3 or 4. And then when that deal's agreed, the manager will either say yes or no, and the player will either join the club or will reject the contract to move on to someone new. So we're going to let our director of football and head of youth development do all the bidding and contract talks, and then we're going to have the final say. The yes or no comes down to us. There's already been one that's pre-agreed, which we'll go and have a look at in a moment. But today, having moved away from that relegation pack, we want to focus on doing something very special this year. And what a short-term challenge it would be if, as well as saving a giant, we could go and win a cup. I know it's just the Carabao Cup and I'm sure we'll probably get beaten by the league leaders today, but it's certainly worth a go. Ralph Hasenhüttl's in charge of Manchester City now. They've got plenty of brilliant players. One we won't be coming up against today, Anthony Vernier, who we had at both Napoli and Sporting in the last 2 years as a head coach. A player we're fairly familiar with, and they've got a couple of others we recognise too. Newcastle, who we obviously managed in our story, they're right up there in second place still, so they continue to do well in the league, and all the usual suspects are up there too. We're the only ones that have been struggling, but let's go and have a look at the schedule to see how we've been getting on since the last episode. Just the 2 games of course off camera, after that fantastic Merseyside derby comeback against Everton. If you didn't see that game in the last episode, do go back and check it out. It was one of the best games of football I've seen in this year's edition, and I really hope you enjoyed it. We then lost unfortunately away to Arsenal. This one went the other way. We were 2-1 up at half time with Ryan Brewster again getting the goals, but unfortunately Arsenal turned it round in the second half as our defensive frailties became clear again. Botta was suspended for this game, our right-sided centre-half, and Amari came in and did poorly, and that ended up costing us the game. And then away to Brighton, one of the most ridiculous football matches you'll ever see. I can't even remember how this one went. We went 1-0 down I think after 19 minutes, then we went 4-1 up after an hour. Vinicius Jr. with a brace, Jimenez and Brewster got the goals then. Then Brighton came back to 4-4 with 85 minutes gone, despite us making defensive changes and trying to shore things up. And then late on we went all out attack as we threw the kitchen sink at 4-4, and then Benitez and Brewster again in stoppage time wrapped up a 6-4 victory. But you can certainly see where the positives and negatives are in these 4 games that we've managed. We've scored so many goals already. 16 in 4 games is fantastic, but we've also conceded 12, something that really has to be addressed. Today if we concede 4 we won't be scoring the same amount, so we're going to really struggle to get through in the cup tie, but it's a great chance at the quarter-final stage to get the big boys out and push ourselves towards an exciting trophy final. So hopefully we can do well in that one, but let's go and get into the game to find out. Although I have got one quick bit of transfer news to show you first, and it's a familiar name as well for those of you that followed the head coach. In terms of our transfers coming in January, Our director of football's first bid was for Shea Ben Harush, £40 million with most of it in instalments, so we couldn't turn it down as it didn't take a lot out of the transfer budget. He's offered him a massive wage, I think it's about 150 grand a week, and as a result that will take a lot out of our wage bill, but we couldn't say no to that transfer. We still want our director of football to do most of the work, and I know we've said we've got the magic button to say yes or no on this occasion, but we don't want to stop him making his deals. We're only going to say no if it's a disaster. So we've only got one player out on the left wing. Ben Harush will address that, and he's going to be an absolute superstar, and at 20 he'll shine for Liverpool for years to come. So I think our manager's really looking forward to working with him again, but obviously we've got to wait 2 more weeks for that, and wouldn't it be great if we're still in the Carabao Cup at that point, although that's going to be easier said than done, playing against the Premier League leaders Man City. They're the slight favourites for this one. They've won 5 games in a row despite their mini injury crisis, but they've got such a big and strong squad that it shouldn't have too much of an impact on them. The Manchester City Stadium sold out. We're going to go and look at our lineup. Only Oscar Allen's still unavailable for us. He's yet to return from his long-term injury. So we've gone as strong as we can for this one. A couple of players not quite match fit, but again they tend to be at right back and central midfield, 2 positions where we don't have a backup option. We have got Lewis Cook back on the bench today, the experienced England central midfielder, but he's only going to get 20 or 30 minutes. We don't want to push him too much too soon, but he could come in for Antonov later on if he starts to tire towards the end. So as a result of all that, our lineup is Manolis in goal, Alexander-Arnold and Diomande the fullbacks. In fact, do we switch the left-backs round? I'm going to go for Antonin Lambert instead. He's a slightly more defensive-minded player, so I think that could help us out today. Lucim are joined again by Botta at centre-half after that disaster with Amari against Arsenal. Benitez and Antonov in central midfield, although Benitez is deeper in that Segundo Volante role. Morella and Vinicius Jr. on the wings, the 2 Brazilians supporting the strikers. And today that's going to be Antunes who's going to start. Jimenez is going to be dropped to the bench, and Brewster's going to play alongside him. He's been an absolute goal machine since we joined. The bench is full of all the players you'd expect. There's a couple that aren't quite fit yet, but having the likes of Jimenez and Diomande on the bench, Vita Hugo and the returning Lewis Cook, just gives us a few more options for the last couple of weeks before January. So let's go and get into this game against City. We'll drop to a balanced mentality once we get there, but fingers crossed it'll be enough to get a result, even if we have to do it the hard way on penalties. It's a 4-2-3-1 for City with very defensive lying midfielders. No other players we recognise in the starting lineup. Obviously we mentioned the fact that Vernier's got a knock and he's not in the squad today, so we're going to be playing against an unfamiliar team. Let's go and get into the team talk. What did Yarovinski recommend? He wants the lads to pick up where they left off. Hopefully he doesn't mean defensively. We'll drop our mentality to balanced and let's go and get into the tunnel interview. We're a good team and we're relishing the challenge, but we know it's going to be a very difficult game. They've got good replacements for their injured players. I don't think they're going to miss 1 or 2 too much. Here's Manchester City in central midfield as they play it short from the kick-off. Javier running down the left wing. This could be a disastrous start, but Trent Alexander-Arnold gets the block in and is out for a City throw on the left. The highlight continues with Mercado's throwing. He finds Javier who flicks it on into the box and Botta clears long, but it only falls for Doumbia. Here they've got it in central midfield again. Good through ball for Mohamedi and a fantastic save from Manolis as we've been carved open in the first minute. It's going to be a corner and outswinging delivery. They've gone short to the edge to Javier. His shot's blocked and we get it away. And now it's Vinicius on the counter. We've got a 2-on-2 with Ryan Brewster here. Could we get a smash and grab on the counter? We can't as Salnikov makes a brilliant challenge and he's out for a Liverpool throw on the right. 5 minutes gone and some worrying signs at the back, but again we still look very good on the counter. It's a long kick forward by Manolis, headed away by Mercado for City, and now Javier finds Salnikov in the middle. He switches it wide to the right hand side where they're starting to overrun us again. Javier crosses, is flicked away, but only as far as Mohamedi. He has a shot for the second time in the match, which Manolis has to tip behind for a corner. Plenty of highlights and they're all for City. They've created many good chances already, but thankfully Manolis claims the corner and with 10 gone we still survive at all square. 25 minutes gone and we're yet to have a shot in the game. Dumby has had a ball headed off the line. Antonov hacks it clear, and I'm not sure what we can do to stop City here. We're not getting any of our attacking players into the match, and that's the first time this has been a problem in this save. I know we struggled in the first half against Everton, but we still managed to create 1 or 2 chances. We've got Morella who's coming off injured now. The right winger's not going to make it. We've almost put Antunes out there by mistake. Let's get Chiesa on. He's a natural in that position, and we'll have him as an advanced playmaker on support, just to drop him back a bit to help the midfield. Hopefully Alexander-Arnold will benefit too, but we're not going to find out until we get back into it. I'm just seeing if we could drop Antunes back, but it doesn't look like it suits his game, so we're going to get back into it with half an hour gone, and hopefully we can defend this corner. It's a free header for City, but it goes over the bar, and it's still 0-0, which I guess is all that matters. We're back with City on the right hand side, right on the edge of the penalty area. It's passed around slickly and it finds Salnikov. He goes back to the edge and the shot's tipped over the bar. A Manchester City corner again, an in-swinger with 5 minutes to the break. Plenty of warnings to close people down, mostly Mohammadi, the right wing back. He's been flying forward all game and he's created plenty of chances. The kick from Manolis finds Chiesa, but he loses possession as the highlight ends. We're back inevitably for a City attack, a corner that's forced a shot from the edge. They've caught us out with that short one a few times, but Manolis has been equal to the efforts. City have had 11 shots to our 0, and we're really holding on for dear life at the moment. I'm not quite sure what we can do in the second half. Maybe we have to sacrifice one of the strikers. We'll think about that in a couple of minutes, but with 3 of stoppage time to go, we've got our first attack of the match. It's Antunes to Vinicius Jr. Out to the right to Alexander-Arnold. This would be a great time to score, but Chiesa's shot's aimless, and it's out for a City goal kick. It's half time and it's still 0-0, but the home side have absolutely dominated the half. Let's go and talk to the boys. We'll encourage them to do as well in the second half. If they keep defending astutely, a clean sheet could be the biggest achievement of this series, but for now we need to find some attacking threat too, and that may mean a slightly more conservative formation. We've decided we're going to do it. Antunes has struggled in the first half. Vita Hugo's going to come on, I think. In fact, no, he's not. Let's bring Lewis Cook on in central midfield. Antunes drops out of the side. We don't want to go too defensive too soon, so Benitez stays in the defensive midfield role. Lewis Cook's going to be either a deep line playmaker or an advanced one. Which roles is Antonov good at? I tell you what, let's go back to our formation that we've been using quite regularly for Torquay. We're going to take a little bit of inspiration from that one. An advanced playmaker on attack. That's what Lewis Cook's going to become on the left, and then on the right Antonov is going to switch over and he'll be a Mazzala on support. I think Cook suits the support duty too, so we're actually going to drop him a little bit, and then Benitez in that holding role is going to be a deep line playmaker on defend. That gives us a little more solidity in the middle, and hopefully that will benefit us in the second half. Brewster's an advanced forward on attack, and we're going to leave him on that on his own, and let's get back into the second period and see if we have any more of an attacking threat. Even if we can restrict the City chances a bit, it will certainly have worked in this second period. It's Manolis in goal as we keep possession from the kickoff. He goes short to Lucimar, but the highlight ends and it's still 0-0, but we're yet to have a shot on target. It's Mercado with a throw for City. Certainly hasn't changed the flow of the highlights. It's all the home side coming forward, and now it's Mohammadi at right back again. His cross is blocked by Lambert, but it's only out as far as the central midfielders, and City can build it again with De Graaf as they come forward down the right hand side. Mohammadi, who's been the main man today, he finds De Graaf. Is a brilliant goal. 30 yards out. We put an extra man in the middle to prevent the space for the City playmakers, and he gets a free effort from 30 yards, and it goes into the bottom corner. The pressing game didn't work there, and that's the problem with all the older heads we've got in the team. They haven't quite got the legs to go with it, and with an hour gone, we're still yet to have a shot on target, and we're going down with a bit of a whimper at the moment. An out swinging corner for City as they continue to dominate this game, and Javier's got it on the left now, crosses to his fellow winger, and he's headed wide of the post. He really should have scored, and with a quarter to go we'll make another change. Ryan Brewster's had a poor match, but I'm certainly not taking him off. He's going to go over to the right wing. He'll be a winger on attack. We want to get him forward as much as possible, although it seems the support duty suits him more. On the left-hand side, we've got Chiesa. He'll be an inside forward on support. We've accidentally changed him to a winger there, so let's get him back to his preferred duty. Then up front, Vinicius Jr. comes off. Jimenez comes back on his own, and he's going to be a complete forward on attack, just to try and give us a bit more versatility. Hopefully those those changes will make some bit of a difference, but I think we're going to keep getting penned in as City continue to control the game. 20 to go, let's see if we can create something from this. Alexander-Arnold with a throw on the right. It's crossed into the back post, but Appleyard gets there. The sub clears long for City, and Lusumar has to start again at the back with plenty of options in midfield. He tries to go long, no, it's an awful ball, and Mercado wins it back for City. De Graaf back to the centre-half Doumbia. Let's go in and make some tactical changes after this highlight. I just want to see if we can play a bit shorter, try and take advantage of our extra man in the middle. Forensek on the left-hand side though. He finds Salnikov. They're keeping it well, City. Look, a really well-drilled side, and they continue to dominate this game as we drop our tempo and passing directness. We want to keep things as short as possible, just to make sure we have a little bit of possession. Let's go and get back into the last quarter of an hour. Hopefully we'll get that one golden chance. Still yet to have a shot on target, whereas City have dominated with 11. It's De Graaf in a holding role for City. Out to Forensek on the left-hand side. He's running across the middle unopposed, and he gets it to the right-hand side to Appleyard. He shoots, and it's a good save from Manolis, who was flying over to his right-hand side. Did well to hold it too, and the fact he's been our best player tells you everything. 10 minutes to go. We've gone very attacking. We've demanded more from the lads. Will it make any difference? I have no idea, but let's just see if we can get a chance out of it. Still no shots on target in this match, and that's going to be the biggest disappointment if we lose. I know we've been a little bit better defensively, but it seems that's been more luck rather than judgment. But hang on a minute, as Lambert puts a cross in, deflects away to Brewster. His shot from the edge of the box goes wide as he was crowded out by 2 or 3 City players. Trent Alexander-Arnold struggling at right back again. It's been a problem for him all year, or at least in the 5 games since we've joined the club, where he already had a poor average rating. We've got no backup options in that position at all, somewhere that's got to be a priority in January. Hopefully our director of football will address that, as we're not going to be instigating any transfers. If the player he tries to sign is awful, then we probably still won't reject it at right back, as we just need a little bit of depth in that position to help out the experienced Liverpudlian. It's Appleyard on the right hand side for City, delivers a ball in which is headed away, but it only falls for Cappiello in the middle. He finds Forensek, cleared away by Liverpool, but we're still hanging on for dear life. 30 seconds to go, we're chasing the game, we've got a formation and tactic that's all out attack, and unfortunately Liverpool are losing possession. City are keeping it brilliantly, they look like a side that deserve to be top, and now we know why they are top of the league, and will probably win this trophy as well. Brewster brings it away with 10 seconds left, but he can only hack it long downfield. We look like a side hanging on with a 1-0 win. Unfortunately though, we still trail in this game. Lusumar clears the ball away with a good bit of defensive work, but that should just about be it, and although it's our best defensive display since we've joined, it's certainly not looked good going forward. The only time we've not managed to score a goal as City see out the game with a free kick. Why we're still playing I'm not quite sure. The final whistle goes before it's taken though. A 1-0 defeat at Manchester City. No shame in the result, but the performance really wasn't our best, and going forward we didn't offer anything. So we're going to tell the lads it was just one of those days. They gave it everything, and we're a bottom half side who competed against the best team in England. We're out of the Carabao Cup though. Our League Cup dream is over, and unless we can go on a run in the FA Cup now, we're just going to be focusing on survival. Can we get this Liverpool side out of trouble and maybe even edge them into the top half? Let's quickly go and see what the media have said about the game. Defeat in the Carabao Cup quarter-final. Morella's going to be out for 3 months. That's an absolute disaster as well. So another replacement we may need in January. Hopefully our director of football's smart enough to do it. Manchester City dominate the game, and we picked up a serious injury. And we've also gone out of the Cup. Triple trouble in that match for us. We're not going to deal with the press conference on camera. Alexander-Arnold's absolutely knackered. We'd expect as much as he's playing every game. There's no alternative to him at right back. But let's go and have a look at the schedule to see when we might be back for the next episode. I do want to show you something from January, but I think we're going to leave it a little while for now. We're going to come back on deadline day, the 31st of January, which is a Saturday. That's the home game against Tottenham Hotspur, although I do think as a result of that being the weekend, the deadline day will probably be the following Monday. So transfer deadline day, let's see if our director of football gets busy, and a home game against Tottenham, it should be a fantastic dramatic episode. Hopefully we'll have plenty of news in the next one and some players that can help out this ageing squad. But if you did enjoy this episode, and a slightly more disappointing one than the last two, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Of course it didn't have the drama or the positive outcome of the last game. The Merseyside derby was something special, and I think today we've just had a dose of reality. Let me know in the comments where you think we need to improve, bearing in mind those injuries we've picked up as well. I really think the right hand side is a problem. The winger hadn't been great before his injury anyway, and at right back we just haven't got any options. So I do think that has to be a priority. But of course it's in the hands of our director of football. Subscribe to the channel for daily FM19 content, firstly from this challenge over the next couple of weeks, as well as our long-term story with Torquay United, the One Club Challenge where we take them to the top of English and European football. We had a really important episode in that one on Thursday, a Carabao Cup final and a chance to win our first major trophy with them. 15 years of hard work went into that one day, so do go back and catch up if you haven't, to see how we got on in our big day out at Wembley. There's also 3 episodes a week from my Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. A massive thank you to everyone that supported that series, as well as the Ashes Test playthrough we did beforehand. I really can't thank you enough for giving it a try. I've been blown away by the support with both of those series. A massive thank you for watching it, and I hope you continue to enjoy the content. Then finally every Friday, our Snooker 19 career continues at 4:30. But a massive thanks for watching this one and your continued support with a new series. I really do appreciate it and hope you're enjoying the challenge, and fingers crossed I'll see you next time for what promises to be a bumper episode as we play a big game at home to Tottenham, as well as experiencing the panic of transfer deadline day.